Do you want to be a composer who can master instruments beyond just standard orchestra? If so, you are watching the right video. Today we are diving deep into the Fractured Sounds Compendium Eldenvale, a massive collection of over 25 instruments crafted specifically for fantasy and folk scoring. To see how it handles a real-world project, I've put together a short Viking-style demo track. I'm gonna break this song down for you today so you can hear how the instruments layer together. Hi everybody, I'm Tateshi and this is Fractured Sounds collaboration. I'm a big fan of Fractured Sounds. Whenever I need piano with character, well, Fractured Sounds is my go-to. So before we get into the details of Eldenvale, I want to share my policy on what makes an orchestra library good for my workflow. So from now on, at the modern Composer Dojo, I judge every library by 4 main pillars. Quality. The library must be realistic enough to deliver a convincing professional demo. Speed. I need to be able to copy and paste parts and dial in modulation quickly. Dry signals. I'm a fan of dry sounds, If the close recording sounds great, the library must be amazing. Layering. Well, some instruments might sound lifeless and thin in solo, but if they have a unique character, they are incredibly valuable for layering. So as we look at Eldenvale today, please keep these 4 points in mind. It's made for Contact 7 or above, and the best part is it runs in the free Contact player as well. The library is broken down into a few main families: winds, plucked, strings, choir, atmospheric, and percussion. Well, in this demo, actually I used other libraries and my voice as well. Some strings, solo violin, the percussion roll, and the Viking chants. So please keep that in mind and let's break down this song. The first thing I want to show you is this beautiful woodwind tin whistle. It has the classic breathy character. The close signal sounds like this. It's a very pretty, soulful sound, but there's a reason Fractured Sound libraries feel so much more real than others, and it's all down to their smart legato. If you look at the settings, you'll see a latency control. I set it to look ahead by 300 milliseconds. What the engine is doing is looking into the future of your MIDI notes to ensure the transitions are smooth. Now, of course, if you leave it like that, everything you play will feel 300 milliseconds late. So to fix this, I simply go to the track, into my DAW and set the track delay to -300 milliseconds. While this compensates for the engine's look ahead time, bringing everything back into perfect sync with the rest of the project. And by the way, you can change the articulations by velocity. So here, portamento and ornament can be triggered by the velocity. Next, I have 2 instruments answering the tin whistle in the arrangement: a Plucked Zither and Lute. To create some separation in space, I place them on opposite side of the stereo field. The Zither on the left and the Lute on the right. I usually do this in my DAW with my plugin like Stereo Processor, for example. But I found the built-in instrument placement feature here works incredibly well. It doesn't just pan the sound, it uses impulse responses to physically move the instrument within the room's acoustic space. And there's also an option for in situ or the position as recorded as well. Now, specifically for the lute, there is a feature that really helps it feel like a physical performance. It's grace note ornaments. In the interface, you'll see an ornament section. You can set a specific velocity threshold, and when you hit the note that hard, the lute will automatically trigger a grace note ornament. For example, also you can change the intervals by key switching. to add hidden island or mist kind of atmosphere I brought in the choir. Well, in Eldenvale it's called Forest Voices. So for this composition, I used it together with the tin whistle to, sustain the note behind it. To add some rhythmic movement behind the main melodies, I brought in the Celtic Harp. I have it playing a simple repetitive ostinato to keep the track's momentum going. But a real magic happens when we need a transition. Eldenvale has a dedicated glissando controller. Instead of drawing every single note, you just click the power icon to activate the controller. Now you can simply hold down the keys for the scale or chord you want. They only play back when you move the assigned controller, which is CC11 by default. This lets you perform the glissando with your controller, and you can change the dynamics with CC number 1. And it's really fun. I programmed something like this. It's basically E flat minor scale. Now let's talk about the strings. It's a 10-player chamber strings recorded at Nave Studios. It consists of 3 violins, 2 violas, 3 celli, and 2 basses. And they are separated into high strings and low strings, and there's also a patch called Strings Combined. What I love about this ensemble is the character. It has a slightly exposed folk-like tuning. Again, you have the smart legato. And high strings staccato. While the ensemble strings handle the foundation, I used the solo cello to add a raw human breath to the track. In the library, you actually get 2 distinct patches, solo cello phrases and textures. For this demo, I took 2 of the pre-recorded phrases, bounced them down, and connected them. Now let me share a professional tip. In a real-world recording, a solo cello wouldn't naturally cut through a busy mix like this one. In this context, it's perfect because I'm using it as a texture. It's not there to compete with the lead, but it's there to add that wood and rosin friction that makes the digital arrangement feel like a physical performance. Now we have to talk about the Uilleann Pipes. For my Viking demo, I use them in 2 specific ways. First, I use them for a drone. Second, I use them for layering the Uilleann Pipes on top adds a fantasy vibe instantly. Like the other woodwinds, you can change articulations by velocity. It's also worth noting that this library isn't just about organic instruments. It includes sound designed pads and drones. I used the saddle pad to fill the background. 12 of the layers are actually derived from the library's own samples, so they share the same folk DNA and blend perfectly without sounding like a standard synthesizer. Okay, so now let's talk about the percussion. In the percussion folder, you get bass drums, frame drums, medieval percussion, some small drums, and various metals, and cymbals and church bells. It has sample delay, sample start control. You can keep the percussion in time while maintaining the attack sound. Well, for this track, I leaned heavily on the close signals. And I love that you can hear the actual sound of the skin being struck, rather than just the boomy, washed out ensemble sound. It makes the rhythm feel physical and present, which is perfect for that raw laugh, Viking vibe. To fill out the harmony behind the melody, I used some of the plucked instruments. I have the Bouzouki, playing simple whole note chords in the background to provide a steady harmonic foundation, for example. By contrast, the Hummered Dulcimer is much more front and center. Well, I used it in the mid-ground as a layer on top of the strings melody to give it more pin, sound, and definition. Well, I really like the sound of the Dulcimer's tremolo, so I actually programmed it myself. It has a beautiful shimmering texture that together with woodwinds really makes the lead stand out. To close the track, I stripped everything back except harp and ended with a solo on the wooden flute. Just like the tin whistle and pipes, this uses a smart legato engine. And again, you can change articulations by velocity. So that's Eldenvale. Well, let me know in the comments how you will use it in your songs, what kind of songs you want to make. So it's a huge library and I couldn't mention everything. Of course, if you have questions, let me know in the comments. At last, please let me share my opinion. Quality, the recordings are great. The smart legato and sample delay to maintain the attack really made a difference. Each instrument has a character, and I also love the samples in phrases in solo cello. You can easily add live feeling with the pre-recorded phrases. Now speed, this is where the library really shines. The smart legato was easily the best feature for getting a professional result in a fraction time. It lets you stay in the creative flow. Dry signals, wow, this is a huge win for me, having access to those close mics, especially on the percussion, well, perfect. Layering, this library is a powerhouse for layering. Whether you're thickening a melody or adding texture behind the lead, you have so many unique options and characters to decorate your arrangement and make it your own. Love it. Now you can make fantasy music with this library, but if you want to make it more epic or anime style, you wanna need this library. Thank you so much for watching till the end. See you soon. If you can dream it, you can produce it.